Hey guys, this is Hardit Bhatia, the bar addict. An interesting use case that came up recently was the need to extract numbers or digits from multi-line text, then compare it to a threshold, and use that to conditionally format the fill property of the text input control. Seems pretty straightforward, but it became pretty complicated because there was no particular format that the users were forced to stick to, so the numbers could be anywhere within the string. Also, it started off with just whole numbers, but then the use case expanded to possibly include decimals as well. So let's see how I solved it using Power Apps. So here I have a screen with the text input control. The example I'm going to use is users are going to type in the time that they have taken to complete their runs. Obviously you can be super happy or super frustrated with the time it took you to complete your run. And depending on that, you may enter a very long text message or a very short message. And the number or the digits that denote the time it took you could be anywhere within the text and in any format. It could be whole numbers or it could be numbers with decimal places. So what I want to do is if the time it took for a user to complete his or her run was more than 30 minutes, I want to fill this text input color with red. And if not, just keep it to gray as it is right now. So let's first test it out and then we'll look at the expression to see how that was done. So I'm going to type in something here. I am super happy with my run today. It only took me 25 minutes. As you can see, the number I typed in here is 25, which is less than 30. So the fill stays the same, doesn't really change from the gray color. The Now, let's say another user types in a completely different message. I am super frustrated and irritated. I really need to work on my fitness. It took me 55 minutes to complete my run today. As you can see, the number entered by the user now is 55, which is greater than 30, and the text input control gets filled with red color. Now, it doesn't really matter if it's 55 or 55.6 or 55.6789. Doesn't matter if you move the number somewhere else. It's going to behave exactly the same way. And similarly, if it doesn't matter if I change it to 25 or 25.6 or 25.6789. This is how it will behave, which is if the number is less than 30, it'll fill it with gray color, and if it's greater than 30, it's going to fill with red color. So now let's take a look at the expression that was used to achieve this. So when I select the text input control and select its fill property, this is the expression I have. The main function I've used here is the match function. So what I'm doing here is first I'm checking the text that's in the text input control and comparing it or trying to match it with the pattern. Now there are different ways you can specify a pattern. You can use regular expressions or you can use predefined patterns. I like to use predefined patterns because they are easy to write, easy to remember, and you really cannot go wrong with it, and they look pretty neat in your expressions. So let's take a look at the first pattern, which is multiple digits and a backslash dot, which is the decimal place, and multiple digits. So this one is trying to figure out or trying to match the text for a number in the format in which the number could have decimal places. So it could be one decimal place or two decimal places or any number of decimal places. It's going to match the text with this pattern and then return the full match. And then I'm comparing that with the number 30. The second expression I have here is comparing the text using the match function with the pattern, which is simply multiple digits. So if it's a whole number without any decimal places, it's going to fetch that using this particular match, and then the full match is going to return to me that number, and then I compare that number with 30. So, and then I have an OR condition between these two. So when either of these two conditions is met, then I fill the color or set the fill color to red, and if not, I set it to gray. I've used the color fade functions only because red is too red and gray is too dark. So I want to fade it down by 50% so that it looks a little bit soothing to the eyes. So to summarize, the idea is to use the match function to compare your text with a specified pattern, which you can define by either using predefined patterns or regular expressions. And predefined patterns are a little easier to use because they're easy to remember and there are less possibilities of specifying the pattern incorrectly. So use those patterns and compare your text using match function, and then you can use the this kind of logic to achieve whatever results you want based on whether the text matches the pattern or not. So hopefully this helps you learn a little bit more about the match function and the predefined patterns, and you can use them more moving forward. So thank you for watching. Have fun, get addicted.